Your boy is back. Welcome to One Away Dragons TV, baby. It's your host, Limit 23, aka Lemetheus, right hand of Zeus. And you know I'm always hype about that tech talk. This was supposed to drop this weekend, but your boy was sick. But you know we about to drop this information on you. You already know. Shout out to my man King Davis from the Iron Lord Podcast and my boy 100 from Intermediate Gaming. I'm bringing both y'all up in this episode because y'all brought up some great points, and I'm going to have to show you the facts. That's what we do here. We're going to be talking about Samsung, LG, Panasonic, Sony, and the sleeper big boy. Whew, they some sleepers. TCL. I mean, like, what the heck? Lemon? TCL? Oh boy, it's about to get crazy in this episode. Now, if you like the content and you're new here, consider liking and subscribing. I told you, small channel doing big things. Facts. Now let's jump straight into this. TV news. Now the first thing we want to talk about today, man, CES was crazy last week. They had all kind of drones and flying cars and microwaves that think for themselves, and that's all good and dandy. But we gamers at this channel. We do that tech talk. We do that tech walk. That's what we do here. So what we're going to do is pay attention to all these variables that I'm bringing to you, and this is very important. First of all, we're going to talk about that HDMI 2.1 spec, which is in concrete as of last year, January 29th. We're going to go into that. We're going to go into the Vice President of Marketing, Mr. Brad Brammy. He goes in to say the 2.1 spec has been available since 2018. Now that every TV manufacturer has had the options to implement this into their 2019 TVs, we got to get into who's going to be the first one to bring it to the market. Facts. And the first one is going to be LG. Now, we're not talking about no TVs rolling up all into your desk or on top of your entertainment system. We're talking about stuff today that's accessible today. We're going to talk about the E9, the C9, the W9, and the top of the level Z9 8K TVs, OLEDs from LG. Now, they will be the first people to bring, TV manufacturer to bring HDMI 2.1 full spec, full variable refresh rate, full 48 gigahertz bandwidth. Now this is what I'm talking about, and yeah, you're going to need some new cables, but they're going to be first to the market with their new 2019 OLED TVs. Now, I'm not a huge fan of OLED for one reason. When I purchased my TVs since the last 10 years, all of my PCs have been hooked up to my TVs, and there's always a huge risk of burning on OLED TVs. I'm going to put a link in the description to a site that I respect very much called ratings.com. They rate a lot of TVs. They did a test over a year, and they have the C8s from last year, the B8s, and they have a lot of burning on them OLEDs, certain channels, high contrast content, like channels like CNN. That shouldn't burn in your TV, but it's a high saturated color program. And yeah, you get them bars, you get that little CNN, and even in some cases, you get an outer body halo form on those OLED TVs. But I will say this for the record. If you're watching movies, like if I was setting up a movie room, it would be straight OLED, because that movie picture on OLEDs with them infinite blacks. People say deep blacks, but it's not deep blacks. It's infinite. Facts. But the OLEDs this year is definitely coming out the batters box swinging. They got 120 frames per second refresh rate panels in every single model, from the C to the top of the line Z9 8K. This is what I'm talking about. And yes, 8K was the biggest thing talked about at CES, man. And like I said at the end of the video, I will be telling you why I'm going 8K, because I always jump out the batter's box, but I always jump correct. Now, let's hop into that Panasonic and their OLED, and it had a better picture than LG. Now, next up, the big TV manufacturer we're going to talk about is going to be Panasonic with their OLED 85-inch monster. Now, they said that was the best looking OLED at CES 2019. And let me tell you, more than just the picture, what's more impressive to me. First of all, they're also coming with that HDMI 2.1 full spec 48 gigahertz, all the bells and whistles plugged in, variable first rate for games, straight total 4K at 120 frames a second and 8K at 60 frames. That is amazing. Now, if you have that UB820 Blu-ray player, 4K Blu-ray player that is, I own that, to go along with that LG or this OLED from Panasonic, you definitely have something going on. But this is what's really, really key. This year, Panasonic has adopted Dolby Vision, and they also have HDR10 Plus in the system, in the TV, one time. To the Blu-ray player, the UB820, you will be able to have whatever visuals you want. That is amazing. And this is the first time Panasonic has implemented this Dolby Vision into their TVs. And they also have up-firing rear Dolby Atmos speakers built into the TV. They definitely come to CES swinging for the fences. And yes, I told you, we're not talking about no foldable TVs. We're not talking about no Samsung 219 inches, micro LEDs, or the 75 inches. I'm only telling you about TVs you'll be able to purchase this year. Now, yes, this GZ2000 Panasonic OLED is going to be expensive, and this is going to be out of most people's tax bracket. But you know your boy Lemon got you. At the end, I'm going to drop some good TVs, bang for your buck. But excuse me, right now, this TV is looking amazing for our high-end users like myself, and I have to bring it to you because you will be able to pick this up this year, and definitely going to be in your Magnolia Best Buy on display. Go check it out. Now, let's hop into this Sony situation. Now, Sony ain't no slouch either. They coming out at CES swinging for the fences. They got a sick 8K full array backlit 89-inch, 98-inch, oh, it's going to be on 75 and 65-inch 8K monster. Now, when you like Lemon, ain't no 8K content on the market. This is true. But you always got to future-proof yourself. I've been 4K since 2013. I'm not going back 4K again. I got a monster 4K TV now. There's no reason for me to go right back to 4K again. I have to go to the next level. That's the conversation I was having with my boys. Now, what makes this TV amazing is they have got the blacks so deep with the full array in the rear of this Sony TV. It's close to OLED. Can't beat out OLED, but it's very, very close. And there another company, bing, bing, bing. Nope, my man's in them. It's another company with the full spec HDMI 2.1, which will carry this all over a 48 gigahertz cable to give you that visual fidelity that you look for in gaming with the refresh rate and with your movies. That's what you want. You want this situation where you buy these new TVs, which this TV, I'm pretty sure, is going to be a lot of money. You have to get your weight up for this one, because whatever they match Samsung and do, Sony is always 1,000 to 1,500 more, hands down. That's why I be skipping out on Sony sometimes, because they be bugging, because they are not even the top TV seller on the planet like they used to be about 20 years ago. They still in fourth place. Fourth. And TCL didn't help them out in that situation. Now, they also have an A9G OLED that they licensed that property from LG over there, like Panasonic did. And it seems to be a monster for TV itself. They didn't have no prices for none of these TVs, but like I told you in the beginning, we ain't talking about nothing that you won't be able to purchase this year. Now, we're going to hop into my favorite TV manufacturer. And at the end of this segment, I'm going to give you a little snippet, a little information of something you might not know about 3 companies that everybody else that's making TVs can't do. Factzzz. Now on to my favorite company, man, for TVs and manufacturing and cell phones and stuff of this nature. We're going to hop right into this. First of all, Samsung micro LED. I was going to buy this year. All the benefits of OLED without the burn-in features. They're not ready for the market. They're not getting my money, and I'm not waiting another year. That's over. I told you. We talking about what we can get this year. So, what they did do is announce their new Quantum Dot 8K 2019 high-end TVs for this year. Now, this is the thing. HDMI 2.1 will be in the One Connect box in one port, full spec. Full spec. So that means you get the full variable refresh rates for video gaming. You will have the 48 gigahertz, which nothing's going to possibly take advantage of that at the moment, and full array backlit. This is going to be crazy. They will be dropping this TV in 65, 75, 85, and 89 inches, and it's going to be bang for the buck. Well, it's going to be banging you in your pocket. I don't know about bang for the buck. But this is the news that I wanted to tell you about. All the manufacturers this year are having AirPlay 2 put into the TVs. Now, if you're an Android owner, you're like, what the hell is AirPlay 2? AirPlay 2 is you could take your iPhone and broadcast it to your TV, or your iPad straight to your TV. And whatever's on your handheld, you can have on your TV. But Samsung is back in bed with Apple, and they have even taken it a step further, and they will be the first to the market with this feature. They're bringing Apple Movies app exclusively, launching with the Samsung 2019 TVs this year. And I'm going to tell you something else. They're going to have some 6K and 8K intermediate footage, movies, content on this Apple device, or Apple app, let me say, for the Samsung TVs. Now this is crazy. You got two of the big boys on the market teaming up and making this happen. And yes, this will launch worldwide. Samsung and Apple, I'm very proud of y'all. Play nice together. The consumers benefit. That is a big deal. And yes, this will be another HDMI 2.1 full spec. Now the reason I love Samsung so much, because they future-proof their TVs. Like my current 4K TV. They didn't have the 2.0 spec. It was only 1.4 at the time. A and B. But when they upgraded to them HDMI 2.0s, A and B, I just bought that One Connect box, and boom, I had HDR and everything. Because we all know in 2013 or 2012 into 2013, they wasn't talking about 4K content with HDR. They wasn't even talking about no HDR. Came later on down the road, Samsung upgraded the box. Boom, I got all them special features. Now the reason I brought up my man 100 in the beginning, because I used to say my TV does not upscale 1080p to 4K well. Damn, I kept saying, why does TV cost this much money, which is very expensive? I said, why does TV cost so much money and I can't benefit from 1080p on my TV? Because you got to cut on something in the TV and it handles it. Thanks to my boy 100 bringing it up the other day, it pissed me off, and I figured it out. And guess what? 1080p looks good now, buddy. Good looking, 100. Bringing that back up. Now, we're going to jump into the small buddy of the group that's kicking down everybody's door, waving that fo. Factzzz. First off, let's jump into the small guy that's kicking the door, waving the fo, hit the floor. Y'all know how it is. TCL on fire. We're not going to get into 8K. We're going to talk about their 4K monster from last year when I talked about it at CES. And I said, yo, this TCL company, man, they're bringing out 65-inch 4K, low input latency, 13 milliseconds, great high-end features for $600 to $800. And if you drop it into the 49-inch range, we're talking about TVs $300 to $400. Now, when I talked about that last year, I seen dudes with steam popping out their heads. I seen dudes spinning around their necks like the Exorcist. He's bugging. It's Samsung, Sony, or OLED only. Nah, dude. The facts of the matter is, this is what TCL has done. First of all, that company been around 35 years. For people that don't know nothing about them, let me give you some mathematics. They have been waving this flag of bringing quality to the smaller market and they are hitting it with bells and whistles. 4K scene, 75-inch right now. $1,800 pre-order in Best Buy. And they have a new technology to go along with it that's sort of like micro LED, which is going to give you higher contrast, a better color gamut, keep the same, or if not better, refresh rate for gaming for a very low price of $1,800 for a 75-inch TV. Come on, people. Come on, people. Stand up for TCL. And they're going to keep the same price of the other TVs. 65-inch, 800, 55-inch, 5-inch, 400. Yo, come on. And now here come the 8 series. And in Europe, it will be the X10 series of 8K. And they're bringing a technology that's dropping in all of their sets for 2019. It is not micro LED. It is mini LED. Now you're like, mini? I'm like, yeah, mini. Mini LED. It's sort of like micro LED without that goddamn high price hike. Watch your backs for TCL. My man, Mr. King David himself. Here go another banger for you, bruh. Yeah, they got that full HDMI spec. 2.1. Variable refresh rate for gaming. Full 48 gigahertz bandwidth. All these TVs I mentioned is coming out swinging for the fence, man. And it's going to be a good situation for us. TCL is going to push the boundaries. Now, they didn't give a number for the 75-inch of the 8 series and the X10 series in Europe. It's the X8 here in the United States, but in Europe, it's the X10. And I'm going to tell you something else they're doing. They are bringing, once again, for the whole series in the United States, the Roku situation, and anything outside the United States, it will be Android, which is good for everybody. That goes out, kudos to them. Now, I'm going to wait for 2 TVs here. And I'm telling you, I always try to buy something that's future-proof. I'm always going to rock with Samsung with the One Connect box because it's never steered me wrong. But right now, if TCL is coming out with a 75-inch, because that's the market I'm in, 75 to 85-inch TV, that's going to give you bang for your buck. I'm willing to spend $5,000 to $6,000 on a TV easily, but if I can spend $2,000, $3,000 to $4,000 and get the same as the big boy, TCL, here I come. 8K is on the way. It don't got to be here today, but it's damn sure coming for them all. And people cannot tell me I'm bugging. I respect everybody. I know what y'all be talking about, but like I said, I've been 4K in 2012 into 2013, and now same TV, crazy. F9000 Samsung, go look it up. It's a monster, 65-inch. But it's time to move on. It's time to put my boy to bed. Now, I'm going to give you a little snippet. There's 3 companies on the market that manufacture their own chips, manufacture their own screens, manufacture their own technology. And they do not need each other. And everybody else buy from them. Number 1 is Samsung. Number 2 is OLED. And number 3 is TCL. Look it up. Your boy always dropped them dimes, as my boy Xbox say. That boy Lemon always got some gems. That's a gem. Sony, Panasonic, Sharp, they all purchase parts from those top 3 guys. TCL, like I said, been in the back burner for a long time, and it's good that they're putting pressure on these bigger companies to bring us quality hardware. I'm going to tell y'all something else that I witnessed at CES that was just amazing all last week. There's one device on the market that they've been using for this video game refresh rate, and it has been that Xbox One X, because it has a 2.1 spec HDMI. Mr. Brad Branny himself, the vice president of the HDMI Association Licensing Company, marketed the Xbox One X as the device to talk about when it comes to variable refresh rate, which helps everybody. Next generation, everybody gonna have to go that route because Microsoft has pushed it to that limit. Every manufacturer, every OLED, all the 8Ks, they all had an Xbox hooked up to it because it's the only thing really pushing that spec. It's a good look for everybody, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I hope y'all learned a couple things. Your boy Lametius is trying to get back on the camera on the regular, but you already know. Work is hard, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But if you're new here, consider liking and subscribing. I know it was long, but see, yes, it's goddamn a week. We thought I was going to do this in 5 minutes. And I'm out. Cheers.